Yeah.
I've already had COVID, so. It's the last one's painful. Brought back a few memories. I'm sick and trying to run daily.
All right, it's 7 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. I have a motion to approve the minutes and bills. You guys all have chance to take a look. Right, Scott, on the first motion, do I have a second? Any second? Public comment? Board comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. PTSO report?
We don't have a whole lot at the moment. We are gearing up for our Halloween carnival, which will be on Halloween this year, from 5 to 7. And yeah, if anybody would like to bake anything for the cakewalk or help set up or clean up, they would be very appreciated. And we're also looking at getting the fireworks stand fixed. And hopefully move when it's hot, because right now it doesn't. So, yeah.
All right, we have a staff representative report? Tonight.
Just a couple of things. I visited with Mrs. Greeno and she wanted to let all of you know and the board know that their Yellowstone trip went wonderfully. I know McKenna's going to speak to it more. But she visited with us at our staff meeting and, her and Nancy just had a great time. The kids all worked together. They did tons and tons of activities. And then made it back to school on Wednesday for our Big Links, Little Links Day, which was also wonderful. We worked with PTSO, which has been a great combination, and they supplied us with materials. There was a maze. They had little styrofoam pumpkins that they got to decorate. There was apple cider and some of the games from the carnival, and so it was definitely a hit.
Student rep?
So I'm the new president, I'm the newly elected president for student council. I just wanna come and say hi, I'm the one who's gonna be talking at most of the meetings unless I can't make it, I'm sweaty, it's just a practice. I definitely do have a bunch of goals I do wanna set out this year, spirit, I know, the hats are gonna be a policy or new policy I wanna bring up to the board, possibly dress code, I mainly just wanna hear what the students want this year. And I always wanna be coming to the board and talking them and doing whatever I can to make sure the students' voices are heard. I'm definitely super excited for school to get started, just to have all the spirit shown. That's a huge thing I want to do is up the spirit, not in just our school, but the whole community. So I definitely will always be here voicing that. We do have districts coming up. I think we have this week of games and then next week, and then we have districts. And our team has to win in this year, so we go in on Wednesday. And then I think we play in Wednesday, and if we make it, then we have Thursday, Friday districts. So fingers crossed we make it. We have high hopes we will. We also have playoffs for the boys coming up. I think that's November 2nd. We're gonna have the spirit they do. So we're hoping they make it then. So we're gonna have a bunch of pep rallies going on for that. We do have Pink Week going on this week, and then we're gonna have a bunch of just stuff going on next week in the next couple weeks. As they did say, I'm gonna talk about Yellowstone because I did go to it. Huge thank you to Miss Nancy, obviously. She was one of our chaperones there. She did amazing. She was always bringing us to places. We literally never had a dull moment. We were always out going and seeing something. We never just were sitting around. She made sure that we were fed. We always slept good at night, even if we got back at 12:30 after swimming somewhere. We always were smiling. We were always having a good time. We were there for 3 days. We were in Montana, Wyoming, back and forth literally the entire time. We were always outside seeing, doing some fun activity. A huge thing we do want to say is a huge thanks to the community. Huge thanks to Mr. Brown for helping make the flag because that made almost $1,000 alone from the raffle. So huge thanks to them. Huge thanks to PTSO, Art Council, the Optimist Club. That's just huge. Like we just want to show like how much we appreciate you guys for doing that. Just because it was a huge opportunity for us. We got to see so many things. We got to see native land, we got to learn history, all different perspectives that we don't get to see if we didn't go. So I just want to give a huge thanks to everyone that helped out with that.
Thank you.
That's all I have for you guys, unless anyone has any questions.
All right, you can return to practice.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Any comment? Say, ma'am?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. All right, let's start from the top. Garrett?
Eric, can you stand up and speak to
Okay, so yeah, I'm here to talk about the bullying thing. I know what,
Mostly the board, but
Okay.
nice and loud, please.
I know what I did at the football, game was wrong.
Can you back up? Many of them might not know. Can you tell?
I hit one of my classmates at the football game, and, I guess I was just done with it, and I'm just sick of bullying, and if no one else is gonna fix it, I will. I don't know.
Yeah, so I guess what I would just say is, like, fighting is pretty, straightforward, obviously. It's pretty easy to substantiate. Bullying in any form whatsoever is quite the opposite, very hard to substantiate. So I guess I would just mention that, when it comes to that, maybe the totality of the circumstances, can be considered.
Nancy, I guess I'm up. All right. I wrote my thoughts down. I hope you don't mind. I just knew that I needed to collect my thoughts. Dear members of the school board, I'm here today to bring attention to a serious issue affecting the well-being of many students, including my son. The 6th grade classroom has an identified bully who, despite repeated warnings, continues to create a toxic environment for his classmates. The American Psychological Association defines bullying as a form of aggressive behavior in which someone intentionally and repeatedly causes another person injury or discomfort. Bullying can take the form of physical contact, words, or more subtle actions. This particular individual's actions are causing significant emotional distress, disrupting not only the learning atmosphere, but also the personal well-beings of many students, including my son. The bully's comments have now even treaded into sexual harassment territory when he has made multiple different comments about the nature of my son and one of his female classmates' relationship. According to Board Policy 3225, our school sexual harassment policy states, sexual harassment includes conduct that, quote, have the effect of humiliation, embarrassment, or discomfort, such as crude jokes, discussion of sexual experiences, teasing related to or a person's alleged sexual activities. I stand here today before you in support of my son, who spent today in OSS for finally reaching his breaking point with this particular bully. Unfortunately, the ongoing harassment has pushed my son, and likely others, to a breaking point, and that led to my son finally lashing out on Friday at the football game. For those of you who know Garrett, you know he is a very kind and caring kid. He does not have a record of violence or bullying. His reaction at Friday night's football game was completely out of character for him. Most of his behaviors since the beginning of 6th grade
grade have been entirely out of character for him. It is because he has been under so much stress at school, as he finally tearfully confessed to me in early September that, quote, his life is hell, unquote. The unrelenting bullying he is experiencing at the hands of his tormentor when all he is trying to do is attend school. I'm not making excuses for my son's physical retaliation. He knew the consequences of his actions, and he did not want to get in trouble with the school. Unfortunately for him, he did not realize a football game at a school-sanctioned activity was school grounds. However, it was important enough for him to act. He served his punishment willingly today. I know that violence isn't the answer, and my son will willingly serve any punishment that is due him. I believe the frustration and distress felt by my son and the other students have been overlooked. Following Friday night's incident, before I even got home from the football game, 9 different parents reached out to me in support of Garrett. Some of them high-fived him at the game. To give you an idea of how much the parents of the 6th grade class have had a gutful of this behavior. This situation calls for immediate action to address the root cause and ensure a safe and supportive environment for every single student. I'm going to provide for you 2 letters and a copy of this statement because I know I'm kind of wordy. The first letter is a letter that I sent to the school dated September 9th, 2024, which details the extent of the bullying behavior he had experienced from the beginning of school up until September 9th. The second letter is a formal request to you, the school board, to host a special public, and I think public is the important word because it affects every kid in that 6th grade class and their parents, to hold a special public board meeting to promptly address this hazardous situation. I know that I had to read this. It's not because I don't feel it. It's to control how emotionally impactful this is on myself and my family. So I thank you for your immediate attention to this matter. I would like to give you a copy of my statement, the letter that I am requesting this special board meeting, as well as the letter that I sent to Mrs. Williams and Ms. Heisler on September 9th. So if you'll take a copy of one of those. Thank you for a chance to hear me out.
Clarence?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing. If there's any incidents going on here with anything regarding if it's bullying, knife incidents, gun incidents, I don't want it being held in a private meeting behind my back. I want to be notified of it and be told that. Now, if I decide not to come to that meeting, that's my own choice. But if there's gonna be a meeting held next week over all this stuff and it's other incidences going on, I wanna know about it. Okay? I don't wanna find out afterwards that we had a private meeting now. So, my child goes to this school, so I wanna know about it. Alright? Okay.
Dawn?
I'm Garrett's grandmother. You have given my grandson, out of school suspension for reacting to a bully who has been harassing him since school has started. You know this person has been bullying. He's been bullying students in this school since kindergarten and up every year. I have been told that all the teachers have been watching for him and they can't catch him. So nothing ever happens to him. But Garrett received out of school suspension, so did another student for 3 days from the same person. I want to know when this school is going to stop reinforcing the bullying and punishing the victims. That's all I want to know.
Riley? I'm speaking on behalf of my brother Chris Rivera, who has been dealing with the same bully since kindergarten through up until last week, which is his last week before transferring to school, grade 1. He has been bullied severely for 6 years, and 4th grade was his breaking point where he shut down and almost had to leave school. And it is an issue that I have been trying to activate within the school for years. I've gone to student council meetings, board meetings, one time before on the issue of bullying, and nothing has ever happened. And it is frustrating that it has now caused an even bigger issue.
Students and other kids have been bullied by this individual in my class. I do not find it comfortable in this class.
I guess I just been concerned that nothing's been getting done. It's this individual, same thing, and since we moved back like 3 years ago, it was one of the first things I was told to look out for. And now it has reached my child, my daughter, and I guess I'm just concerned that if she reaches that breaking point too, that again, nothing will be done, and she will get in trouble, but they fully won't. And I don't know. I guess I appreciate what he did. He reached his breaking point, and it shouldn't have to come to that. Thank you.
Cody?
Like the topic tonight, bullying, it's out of hand. When I was in school, we took care of it differently. Things change. I don't do stuff like that anymore. I stand with Gary on this because I would have done. But in his stance, he's getting in trouble for standing up against the bully, doing what he wanted, doing what he should have done. Nobody else steps in, takes care of the problem. At what point, does anybody do anything about this? If it was my kid, God will assess that, be taken into a vacation. Or all over this through. I mean, why do we punish the ones that are the victims? I don't understand it. It needs to end. And I'm all for, resolving the problem, but it doesn't get resolved, and people have to step in and do it. Do it the old fashioned way, I guess. It's right where it's at right now. Stuff needs to be brought to attention and actually taken care of. I'm not gonna deal with sexual comments about my kid. I mean, how old are the kids? I doubt they even know what that, what's being said is. I mean, they probably don't even know what it means. They do. Yes, they do. They watch too much of their own channel or something. It's, my daughter won't come home. She doesn't come home and try. She's not that type. Other kids, I've heard them come home, try their parents. Mine doesn't do that, so I had to pound it down her to, get the information. But she flat told me she's heard sexual comments about her, and Garrett, other kids, and same type of bullying. Nothing's ever got her, so. Something's gotta be done. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Jennifer?
So I first experienced the bullying from the student in 4th grade. I was in 4th grade from 1:30 in the afternoon till 4 every day. It was a daily basis, and nothing was done. I documented. I don't know what happened to that documentation. And the teacher left, but I did document any bullying case issue. My biggest thing was on the bullying issue. Yes, we have a zero tolerance policy for We have a zero tolerance policy for bullying. Do we have a policy for retaliation of bullying? No. And I think retaliation of bullying should be in a separate category than fighting. Because there's something else that needs to be dealt with, not just kids fighting. And bullying is, Trace, like Brian mentioned, fourth grade, he shut down. This is a kid who went from happy, wasn't the best student, but happy, and then he just shut down. You couldn't get the kid to talk. I finally got out of him that he was being bullied by this people in question. When I took it to Jen Packer and the teacher, nothing was done. We'll talk to her. Talking doesn't do anything with the bullying. Okay? Refocusing, I don't think that they're gonna help with the bullying. Because they're just gonna keep doing it. So they get some ISS, okay? They still are going to go back to bullying. There's no repercussion for the bullying. So we need to have some steps. Our school needs to come up with a policy for retaliation on bullying, or a different policy to deal with bullying. We need to make it tougher. Little kids, I'm seeing third graders getting bullied by other kids. I mean, it's third graders. 10 years ago, third graders weren't getting in trouble like that. And it's rampant. It's rampant every classroom, but this particular class in fourth grade, that's when it started, and has done nothing but escalate. And I do not want to hear sexual comments are coming from another student about my granddaughter, or about a young man who, he's an outstanding young man. And I think it's honorable what he did, fighting, yes, it's wrong, but it's honorable. So I would like to see something in place. We need to do something with the bullies. Other kids are not gonna say anything. They're getting bullied, they aren't gonna say anything, because what happens? OSS or ISS. They take care of the bullying problem, because they can't take it anymore, they retaliate. What happens? They're an OSS or ISS. What is that teaching all the other kids? Don't say anything, because you're gonna get in trouble. So, these kids don't say anything. And I've seen them, they shut down. So we don't want that to happen. It's too hard to reach out. Thank you.
Obviously, can't make any comments on this tonight since it wasn't on the agenda, but we can schedule a meeting for a follow-up on this issue. I don't know what everyone's schedule looks like, but it looks like the first available would be next Monday. Free for that, say, 7 or 3.
Yeah. Works for me.
Maybe 7. Maybe 7. Excellent, thank you so much. Of course. Thank you guys for coming up.
So Monday at 7, and that's a public meeting.
Oh, yeah, no, people keep it open.
Okay.
Obviously, we'll need the opposite needs to be here too. Okay. So, we have everybody, otherwise we won't be able to see. Okay. Okay. All right, thanks, guys. Communication, any action items? Information? I saw this put in the bank and I thought it was adorable. Yeah. I think that this is a great way to get our community involved, having this out there for the community to look at, so I'd love to see it continue moving forward. Lots of information. This is my favorite one, is from Madison.
Very hard.
Mm-hmm. Calendar of events. Any questions on those? Okay. AD update?
Yeah, kind of stole my thunder.
Shocker.
But, the high school sports seasons are going well. High school girls are wrapping up the regular season, getting ready for districts. Like she explained, Wednesday they'll play a game which will seed the final four teams into the regular bracket. That is up there in Tableau. The plan is for them to stay up in Folsom for those 2 nights because the times are kind of, it's not conducive to traveling back and forth, let me put it that way. It's just too long of a trip, and the turnaround is too short, so it'll be beneficial for them to stay up there in Folsom. Football, we're going week by week. Every game becomes more important as we go through. Kids have been playing well. And we've got another big game Friday, and we'll know a lot more after Friday as far as where we're at. Many scenarios, too many actually, I was trying to explain to somebody that there's a bunch of different scenarios. One does involve, we potentially could be hosting a playoff game, if things play out right. We need a little bit of help and then we do our job, but we could host a playoff game. That would be exciting, actually. That would be driving 6 hours to Eastern school, so. Let's see, schedules, finalizing those, I thought I had them done last week, and a couple ladies had to switch some things, so I'm working on it to certify notes, and put those out for basketball. And for junior boys and high school, so those dates I'll get out regardless through this week, even if I don't have the, exact order or anything like that, so you guys can. Junior high volleyball has a couple games left, they have one tomorrow, which is a switch. They asked, I tried scheduling originally on Tuesday, they didn't want to, and then they came back and asked if we could move it to Tuesday and Thursday, so. I will play one, and then we're on the road next week to wrap up their season. That's it on the regular season going on right now. One thing came across, dealing with kind of the athletics, I guess, I got subpoenaed to go to court, on the 23rd, which is next Wednesday at 3 o'clock, and this is in regards to the pistol that was found at the game on December 8th. The gal, because the charges were pressed, she's contesting the charges, and so I need to go, and I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to do there. He didn't say, just, so I'll show up, and then I'll give you some feedback when I get back, I guess. They wanted some video footage of whatever we had, and the only thing we had was actually off the game camera, just films, and so I gave them a link to that, because you can't download it, you can't buy it, you can't, it's just sitting there online. And then I guess that wasn't enough for them. They wanted me to do more, which I can't do it. So, at any rate, we'll go and I'll give them some feedback.
Who's pressing charges? Brenda? Who's pressing charges?
I think that we started them.
So the school did, or the board did?
No, I think so.
Can they do that without board approval?
Well, Jen and I visited about it, so I'm pretty sure it came through a grant with me. Well, Jen, and I think she was talking about it.
Jen just told me she was going to.
So that's legit without a board approval?
Because it was school policy.
Okay. That's what I got for updates. Then I'll move on to, I've got 3 coach positions to recommend tonight. So the committee met and interviewed these candidates. So the first one, the committee would like to recommend Shane Smith as the head high school girls basketball coach for the 24-25 school year.
Right. Motion to approve Shane Smith as the head high school girls basketball coach.
Motion to approve Shane?
Public comment?
Thank you.
Any board comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the committee would like to recommend Melissa Udarian as the high school assistant girls basketball coach. For the 24-25 school.
Julie was at this one, doing that to them, so the rest, I need a motion to approve Melissa Udarian as a high school assistant basketball. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second?
Second. Public comment? Board comment? All in favor, besides Julie, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And committee would like to recommend Claire Anderson as the high school assistant track coach for the 24-25 school.
Right, do you have a motion to approve Claire Anderson as a high school assistant track coach? Motion to approve Claire Anderson as high school assistant track coach. Do you have a first motion, do you have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. All right, public comment? Board comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Shane.
Well, I've had a few bills come in that we weren't expecting. We saw a couple of them, the benchmark, reading curriculum and Savas. Last one, close to 15,000 there. So, and then there have been some bills that have come in from June. Not too many, not too significant. Just trying to get on top of that. Got my audit scheduled for November 11th. So that'll be fun. I was looking at the time clock that was purchased in June. Honestly, I was trying to see if we could return it. It looks like it's a 3-year contract. So, and nothing's been done to set it up. So, we'll see when I get time to look at that, because I need all kinds of data. Let's see, I have got myself, I'm waiting on an activation code from Social Security so I can be able to upload the W-2s. I have updated the SAM.gov for our school, and hopefully we'll be able to get paid for the water. But it's also important for grants and things. And it was a bit of a headache, but I got the test confirmed.
No.
You saw that we had a payment to Joan Lewinite. That was insurance, health insurance that was withheld for a couple of years at a too high a rate. So we needed to reimburse her that money. And SR3, we managed to spend all the money. That was the bills that you guys got early in the packet that came after the board meeting. And the other one was a little bit of fresh fruit and vegetable, because that had to be spent by September 30th. We did, Kathy and I, we managed to push as much payroll as we possibly could into this. So that will help with the deficit. We have activity balance. There was a couple of deposits that were missed, that were electronic deposits. So we'll go back to 23 to do that, 2023. Right now, I am working on trying to figure out a miscellaneous fund. Going back to June of 21, which was the last time I closed out the books. And still trying to figure out what our cash balance is there. And then the other thing that I'm working on is the check clearing, trying to balance that with the treasurer. Oh, and on top of that, the treasurer has changed our accounts, so I'm having to go through and figure out ACH deposits with the new account. I've been busy, is what I'll say. And then the other thing, I had talked to OPI and my auditor, and because we're gonna be needing to use our multi-district, probably by the end of the year, we're gonna be needing to use it for some payroll and stuff. So I need the board to approve our interlocal fund. That's what we'll create. It just goes into my Black Mountain accounting software. OPI does not have to approve it. The treasurer will create a new fund for us. And that way I can receive money from East Helena to reimburse, but it'll still show up as an expense. For most of the time when I've used the multi-district account, it's been to reimburse for like propane or something, and I just put it in against the expenditure. But with this year and probably the amount of expenses that are gonna be coming out, we need to have a record. So if you guys could approve the creation of the interlocal fund, I'll get that started this month.
Alright, do I have a motion to approve the creation of the interlocal fund? Motion to approve the creation of the interlocal fund. Alright, do we have the first motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion, I call it up. Or comment?
Alright.
Okay, we did a lockdown drill a couple of weeks ago. Then a staff meeting the next morning, and have a couple of areas that we would like to beef up security on, and probably do professional development on November 22nd, doing some things with the lockdown, and inviting the sheriff's department in, and training with the staff. But it all went really well and pretty smooth, and just want to keep up to date on it, unfortunately. I'll be starting evaluations in the next couple of weeks and start working my way through that. But while I'm doing that, or other things, Shane is a backup, and if Les are busy, Laura will be the next one, so we're working through the process without having a principal on staff. It just helps to address issues. We're catching up on accreditation data. The first thing that we have to do is what they're calling a graduation profile. And we'll be having a meeting on that in the next couple of weeks. And we're trying to get that ready to upload for OPI. And there are several processes that will be happening throughout the year to keep up with accreditation for the school. We had a fall count last Monday. We have 147 students enrolled on the 7th of October. Where we're at. That's all I have.
Alright. You should have each seen the proposal that we agreed to for negotiations with the teachers. They were very easy on us this year, knowing that we were short on budget. So there weren't a lot of changes. They tried to do as much as they could like they did propose an increase for the second the person will leave the 74 hours, which was just something that, hadn't been changed since we went from a 5-day work week to a 4-day. So just that change in order to account for that time, since they work 9.5 hours and 9.5 hours is what gets taken out, and to what they should have. They wanted to extend the pay scale, so right now the pay scale only goes 20 years.
23.
Yeah, so they just want to extend it out for 25. The evaluations, once every other year for the tenured teachers, and then twice a year for the non-tenured teachers. Within the building itself. Oh. And that's one where they just have the option to do it off-site, so that they can do their work during that day that they're given to professional, thank you. I was like, it says PD, so I'm like thinking of the work. So just the request right now, they have to do it in the school building, which doesn't give them a whole lot of opportunity to do it in the school building without being interrupted, so they want the option to do it off-site, like if they're have to. If need be. They wanted to increase the basic hours, I think they were at 660, now they're wanting, yeah, increase to 680. And then we were just updating the sexual orientation to discrimination policy, which was just something that they were stating is pretty much mandatory to be updated. And nothing that technically is going to cost them school any money, but they put a lot of work and thought into it, so we appreciate their thought. I just need, approval for their proposal. Do we have a motion, do we have a second?
A second?
Do we have seconds? Do we have public comment? Board comment?
Yeah, I was curious on this update 7.1 about the sexual orientation. What does that mean?
There's the whole he, she, it, him, thing that you have to add items into the policy. That
So
wasn't there
they're
before.
saying they don't want to be discriminated against if they don't know what they are? Is that basically what that is?
I think it's mandatory, I don't think we have a choice.
No, I'm serious, I'm curious. Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Glad we got that cleared up.
Yeah, I need help, I know that.
Any other board comment?
Yeah, so when you said that's mandatory, that's in there?
It's like law, it's law that we have to have that added.
Makes us put that, like, the policies that we do that they send us, somehow got jumped over. Something like that. We could, but then we can apply to the state.
No further questions.
Any other board comment? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Julie, I didn't see nothing. You said aye? Okay, perfect. All right, motion carried. All right. Did we get it? Did it first time removal?
No, we just have to call.
Oh. All right, so we just need to make a motion to put out a bid? For the stone removal? Okay, do I have a motion to, request a bid for stone removal for the 24-25 school year?
Make a motion to request a bid, snow removal.
All right, that's the first motion, do I have a second? Scott does a second. All right, public comment? Board comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Alright. You want to do the honors?
Maybe we met and we would like to recognize Darcy, Jackson Staff, for the business manager position.
I have a motion to approve, Darcy Randall as the business manager for position.
Make a motion to approve Darcy.
As the first motion, do I have a second? Seconds. Public comment? Public comment?
How many applicants do we have? That's all I have.
I will say she's taking a pretty major hit.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah,
We-
absolutely.
We talked about starting date, because the audit is the week of the 11th. That would be a really hard week for me, so that she could start on November 18th.
And also the way she works with it. Her voting office, what is it called? Treasurer's office, and wanted to stay throughout to help with the voting. So we weren't gonna start them, so the second week of November. Just sticking around, helping them. I thought that was really nice. Like, 50-some hours straight, no. All right.
And the board want to set the salary. Because.
Yep. I think that when we were discussing just due to her, experience, she has a lot of background and experience, and also, she had taken a significant pay cut to come here. What was our request?
45.
Starting her at 45. So, I need a motion to approve starting her at 45. How's it? Julie has the first motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Julie has a second, public comment? Public comment?
How much was the previous?
40, right around 43, 42, 8, 40.
Any other public comment? Okay, I'll do it for that.
Aye.
Alright, motion carried. Alright, we need to go into executive session. So do you have anything else?
Okay, we're going into executive session.
Yeah. Oh, okay, we're going into executive session. Alright, if you guys want to stick around outside. Otherwise, I'm gonna probably leave.
Do you just want to send me a message and let me know? Okay, all right, thank you. She's gonna go to sleep.
I just wanted a few minutes to meet with the board on a question that Doug asked me, after, what happened with Laura.
Okay.
And Doug was interested if this was a closed case or if it could be brought back. And I think that was the question. This was the letter that you guys weren't able to read because